Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Straight Fire Picks. Best bets for college football, week number 6 on Saturday, October 9th, 2021. My name is Steve, and we're going to have 4 picks here for you for the Saturday college football slate that I think are great value bets. As always, just want to thank you all for your continued support on the channel. If you are new to the channel here today, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Always appreciate that. We're trying to reach 700 subscribers here by the end of the week. Getting right into our Comet Cappers section. So this is from last week's college football episode. We had the Magic Man calling the under on the Oregon-Stanford game in the first half, under 29.5 points at minus 130 odds. Was able to cash that. So great hit on that. And we had KJ Philly 5-teamer taking the Cincinnati Bearcats spread versus Notre Dame. Cash that as well. Bearcats dominated Notre Dame last week. At Notre Dame, so impressive win there for Cincinnati. Good call, KJ. As far as our stream results, we went 2-2. Now, depending on where you got in at the Texas line, I know a lot of people that were actually able to hit on the Texas, so you would have went 3-1. If you got in at Texas, better than anywhere better than 5.5, which is where we had it officially. The spread for that game though dropped pre-game to 3.5. And I ended up getting it at 3.5, just ahead of game time there, and it dropped to 4.5. I mean, it was below 5.5 most of the week, so I hope you guys were able to cash that. Officially went 2-2 though. We had, like I said, Texas minus 5.5, and they won 32-27, so they won by 5. And then we had the Michigan money line versus Wisconsin. We cashed that. Michigan completely dominated Wisconsin. No real surprises there. And then we had Iowa minus 3.5 versus Maryland. Cash that one as well. That was an easy, really easy cash on Friday Night Football. We love that. Was really psyched about that. Great way to start the week, obviously. And then we had Arkansas plus 18.5, and Arkansas just was not ready for this. That's all you could say. They were not ready for that game against Georgia. Just a whole different test for them, and that they did not pass. So. What can you do? Went 2-2. Not bad, though. We'll take that. And like I said, depending on where you got, I hope you guys were able to get the 3-1. So now getting right into our picks for college football Saturday. At number 1, we are going with the Wake Forest Demon Deacons minus 6.5 spread versus the Syracuse Orange at minus 108 odds. So coming into this game, Wake Forest ranked 19th in the land. They're undefeated at 5-0, including 3-0 in conference. And Syracuse just does not fare too well against really good football teams. Syracuse has not been a good football program for a while, for at least a few years. When they had Nassib there at quarterback, they weren't bad. They, were pretty good, pretty competitive, but of recent, they have not been very good. They do look a little bit better than in years past, so I think that's why you're seeing a smaller line here. But Wake Forest overall, I think, has them outmatched. Wake Forest 30th in all of college football in total offense at 444.6 yards per game. It's easily the best offense that Syracuse has seen so far. Wake Forest definitely very strong on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, both these teams compare. Both these teams have allowed 11 offensive touchdowns on the year between Syracuse and Wake Forest. Both defenses are actually pretty solid. Syracuse has a pretty solid defense overall. And Wake Forest obviously as well. So just the issues I see here for Syracuse, they have a few. There's injuries. They got injuries on the offensive line to one of their big contributors, Tisdale on the offensive line. That's a huge loss for them. And also Taj Harris entered the transfer portal. He was their number 1 wide receiver, so he will not be available either. So I think that's a big loss for Syracuse. So Wake Forest is going to be able to key in on the run. They're already pretty decent against the run. Wake Forest 63rd in college football against the run, which is solid, just outside the top 50 out of 130 teams. So that's not bad. And Wake Forest in scoring offense, like I said, they have Syracuse beat here significantly on the offensive side of the ball. 16th in scoring offense. Syracuse is 60th. So Syracuse hasn't been that bad offensively, but Wake Forest definitely has them beat here for sure. And like I said, Wake Forest already with 3 conference games, already going 3-0 in conference. So Syracuse literally just played their first conference game last week against Florida State. Florida State and lost. Florida State didn't have any wins coming into that game, and they beat Syracuse. So think Syracuse just going to have a hard time here keeping up with Wake Forest, so take it there for your number one pick. Wake Forest minus 6.5 spread versus the Syracuse Orange at minus 108 odds. Okay, and at number 2, we're going with the Texas Longhorns plus 3.5 spread versus the Oklahoma Sooners at minus 110 odds. So this is going to be a great game. Obviously, it's the Red River rivalry. It's going to be so much fun to watch. Always is. Always is a great game. It's going to be played in Dallas, Texas. So really looking forward to this one. Definitely giving Texas the edge here, though, particularly with the spread. Oklahoma coming in has not looked that impressive so far in Big 12 play. Oklahoma has played 3 close games so far in the Big 12 against 3 teams that are unranked. So obviously you saw West Virginia keep it close against them. You saw Kansas State keep it close as well. So I definitely expect Texas to definitely keep this close, if not win. Right now, Spencer Rattler, the quarterback for Oklahoma, has not looked impressive in Big 12 play. Has just 4 passing touchdowns in 3 games in Big 12 play, so that's not very good. Texas on the other side right now, 22nd in all of college football in total offense versus Oklahoma, sitting at 43rd in all of college football total offense. So right now, the edge right now to Texas on the offensive side of the ball. Casey Thompson, quarterback of Texas, has a pass efficiency grade of 7th in all of college football versus Spencer Rattler, who has a pass efficiency grade of 32nd. So obviously Rattler has not performed to expectations so far this year. And, you know, I think in this game, a lot of pressure. I mean, I expect them to honestly both to play pretty decently, but I'm giving the edge right now to Casey Thompson for sure. Especially, you know, Texas has already played 2 teams inside the top 25 this year. Texas has a higher strength of schedule right now at 12th versus Oklahoma at 15th. So, you know, as far as, you know, the comparisons should be even here. The matchup should be even. They've already beaten Louisiana. Texas already beat Louisiana, who was ranked coming in to that game. And they lost to Arkansas, but Arkansas is out of the SEC. And, you know, obviously we know the deal with the SEC. So I really like Texas here, guys. You know, Rattler, like I said, 4 touchdowns in his first 3 Big 12 games. That's very unimpressive. You know, defensively, Oklahoma has definitely improved. Oklahoma is actually a pretty solid defensive unit, 42nd. I still like Texas here to get it done and to cover the spread for sure. So take it there for your number 2 pick. Texas Longhorns plus 3.5 spread versus the Oklahoma Sooners at minus 110 odds. Okay, and at number 3, we're going with the Baylor Bears minus 2.5 spread versus West Virginia at minus 122 odds. So, a couple things I really like here for Baylor. West Virginia in their last 6 road games is 0-6. This game is going to be in Waco, Texas, at Baylor here. And Baylor is 6-3 in their last 9 as favorites against the spread. So I like those. Obviously, I like the trend there as far as that goes. On the season so far, Baylor plus 4 in the turnover margin. West Virginia minus 5. So Baylor doing a much better job of taking care of the football so far. And I think that could be a big storyline in this game. So I'll definitely take the team at home. That's also better with turnovers as well. Baylor also has statistical edges across the board. Some of them are slight defensively. 32nd in yards per game total versus West Virginia at 34th. Offensively, they have a pretty solid advantage here. 29th in yards per game for Baylor versus 80th for West Virginia. So West Virginia definitely likes to play a little bit slower of a pace. You got to consider that too. Now, as far as yards per play too, Baylor is 8th in all of college football in yards per play. So that's very impressive, obviously. So they've really had things cooking on the offensive side of the ball, and they're a very solid defense. So Baylor overall is a very solid team playing at home against what I would deem an inferior opponent. So they definitely should be able to take care of business here at home. That's why I love Baylor at number 3 here, guys. Baylor minus 2.5 spread versus West Virginia at minus 122 odds. Okay, and finally at number 4, we're going with the under 50.5 points in the Michigan State Rutgers game at minus 110 odds. So a couple things I really love about this game as far as the under goes. We got 2 pretty solid defenses here coming in. We got the 39th and 43rd ranked scoring defenses coming in to this game. So both top 50 scoring defenses. Both have given up just 12 offensive touchdowns on the season, which is very solid. Rutgers defense in particular is 35th in yards per game, and they've already played against Ohio State and Michigan, so I like that. They've already been, obviously Ohio State did put it on them, I realize that. But overall, Rutgers has a very solid defense. Ohio State's going to make a lot of people look bad. They're always great offensively. And they play Michigan tough. Michigan has a pretty low-scoring game, 20-13. So you like that, obviously. And now, as far as on the other side for Michigan State defensively, they do give up some yards. So that is definitely a concern. But I'm not worried about Rutgers' offense. I think that's why I'm very comfortable with Michigan State's defense. Michigan State is 103rd in yards per game on the defensive side. So it's obviously not very good. But like I said, Rutgers does not scare me one bit offensively. So, and this is why. So, Michigan State 24th on offense. Rutgers 101st yards per game on offense. So, Rutgers does not have a good offense really at all. They like to run the football, which is what you like to see in a low-scoring game, right? You want to see that clock burning. And Rutgers will definitely look to do that. That's what Rutgers wants to do. They want to play hard defense. They want to run the football. That's the formula there under Greg Schiano. Back to his days when they had Ray Rice there at Rutgers. They love to run that football. So Rutgers so far on the season inside the top 50 in rush attempts. So, I like that. And obviously, about Michigan State too. They love to run the football with Kenneth Walker. That's their star on offense. So what Rutgers needs to do is really just be able to hold Walker and not allow the explosive plays. We don't mind running the football at all. That clock's going to keep moving 3, 4, 5 yards at a time. That's the formula for an under, especially one this high, under 50.5. That's why I like this. A little bit too high, guys. Under 50.5 is too high. And both these teams overall are pretty decent at defending the run. Overall 42nd and 54th at defending the run. Really, Michigan State's weakness on the defensive side more is in the passing game. They defend the run pretty decently, and so does Rutgers. So I look for this to be a low-scoring game. A lot like the Michigan Rutgers game where you saw 33 points. I like it. I absolutely love it here. So take it there for your number 4 pick. Under 50.5 points in the Michigan State Rutgers game at -110 odds. Okay, that does it for our official picks for the day. I had one additional game that I just wanted to make mention of. If you guys are looking for an upset special, now this is not an official pick, but I did want to give a little bit of guidance on this. If you're looking for an upset special, look at Illinois versus Wisconsin. So you got Illinois at +300 on the money line the last I checked. They beat Wisconsin the last time they came to Champaign, Illinois. They beat them 24-23, and that was about a +2,200 money line. Back 2 years ago. And honestly, this year, I wouldn't be surprised if it happened again. With the way things are trending for Wisconsin now 1-3 on the season. I have no problem picking against them. Now, I'm not specifically making that upset an official play because, Illinois would need some things to go right for sure. But Wisconsin's really struggling, right? 1-3. Lost to Michigan, lost to Notre Dame, lost to Penn State. They lost all the tough games, but they really got outplayed severely in all those games for the most part. So, and then you got Illinois on the other side. Illinois has improved. They gave Nebraska a game there. They beat Nebraska earlier in the year, so they are very capable of pulling an upset. They look pretty solid under their new coach there. They're improving. They're not a great football team yet, but they definitely look like they're improving. They're trending the right way. So I really like the potential for an upset there. So if you're looking at an upset, look at Illinois +300 against Wisconsin. Again, not an official play, but just if you want to take a shot, that's definitely a good place to look. Okay, that's going to do it for our picks for today. If you guys enjoyed the content, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Always appreciate that. Our goal is to reach 700 subscribers here by the end of the week. So appreciate your help out with that. If you'd like to participate in our Comic Cappers program, our Comic Cappers section that we do in the video, be sure to drop your favorite pick down below with odds, and I will include that if it hits. Other than that, it's going to do it for me. You guys have a great rest of your week, and we will catch you next time. Peace out.